So at the end of July this year, Amazon launched their phone, the Fire Phone. And their goal was to leverage the success they had with the tablet space to put a new device into people's hands, not only to consume content, but focus on consuming content from Amazon. Now they're launching in what we know to be a rapidly saturating smartphone market, where new players really have to do something different to grab people's attention, either performance, price, story around the product. And so Amazon focused a lot of attention on adding some technology they call dynamic perspective, in which with 4 extra cameras mounted on the outside meant that as you moved the phone knew where it was relative to your face and would do cool things to try to surprise and delight you. Challenge was, it didn't surprise and delight people. We tracked the launch of the Fire Phone, and if iPhones were up here, this is the volume, the size of the bubbles, the volume of conversation around it, and where it sits here is kind of the Net Promoter Score. If this was iPhone moving along, this was the Fire Phone. It didn't ignite, it fizzled. They launched on the 25th. We published a report on the 28th that this was a terrible launch. By the end of 30 days later, they said they only sell 25,000 units. So again, we were able, by listening to consumers, see ahead of the market where things were going. Then they dropped the price, 99 cents. Guess what? It dropped further. More people bought it, but they're still grumpy. When we dig into it, we'll actually go into the data and unpack all this unstructured stories that people share passionately about good and bad. We see a few things. One, the first piece is all those extra pieces of technology took a much bigger toll on the battery in actual use than maybe Amazon anticipated. And so people were complaining about even worse than iPhone battery lives, which we've already said, okay, charge once a day. People were citing operations of less than 3 hours. There were also stability issues with the hardware not working, rebooting several times a day. The classic kind of product not being ready problems that you see in the marketplace. Amazon was trying to get something out to grab some mind share in this market before Samsung and Apple launched their new products this year. But it was too soon. It had been in development for 4 years, but it was not yet done. And to complicate matters even more, when they went to take it back to AT&T to say, this phone's terrible, it's breaking, it's doing all these things, it's not meeting the promises that we've heard from you and from Amazon. AT&T said, I'm sorry, we can't take it back unless you pay us money to restock it. And so this added insult to injury and shows how not only did the products disappoint, but also the entire ecosystem of service around it also disappointed users and further decreased Amazon's entrance into this marketplace. Can they recover if they learn from this? We'll see.